I sent it to you, Jenny. Okay, guys. Now we have been looking at selling the euro across the board. We have been looking at being short the euro across the board. This chart that you see in front of you here, this is the Eurocad. And we have identified that we have a major sell signal in the CAD, and we also have a major sell signal in the euro. And while the euro was crashing on Friday against all currencies, the Eurocad is the only pair or the only cross that the euro has closed positive against. The CAD is the only currency that the euro closed positive against. And that is again a good indication that our homework that we have did in the beginning of the session is correct, because we identified the CAD as weak, we identified the euro as weak, and now this is a gauge of how weak is weak and how. So the euro based on this is stronger than the CAD. So we'll be looking at selling pressure coming in both, but if somebody wishes to take that pair individually, then you'll be looking at this is the only cross that you will go long in the euro. And make sure you don't go long the Eurocad and short the Eurocad. Either you're long the euro across the board or you're short the euro across the board. Don't go long and short the euro. So in this case, again, this is not a trend change. This thing is again in a sideways move. It is still in a major downtrend. So we are going to trade based upon this turning point. So we are going to be buyers as long as it's right here. We're going to but this, let me show you something. I just looked at it. If you look at this, guys, look at this chart. You can see now the major downtrend. Right here you have a higher low, and that would be pretty much your structure, and that structure is pretty close to the original structure which we had on the daily chart. 159. No, it's actually better. This here is your structure point. So look at, see how magnificent this is. The 139.88 is your structure point on the daily chart, and in the intraday, if I'm looking just at to trade the intraday, that is your major downtrend. That is the structure point from the daily chart, and it acted here as it did a job over here, and now right back it now would become the structure point that would indicate a trend change. So that for us is fantastic. That is, if it gets above this structure point, let's say if it gets above the 1.4, that is basically our intraday trend change, and we'll be definitely looking at buying the euro CAD. So the Eurocad, we are going to be buying it since it is since this is our structure point. I have to leave it. I want you. I don't know how to do this. I'm just thinking. But the structure, I mean, we had this as a spike at the end of the day, so it closed at 159. So 159. I'm trying. The challenge that I have here is this is the structure point. I mean, we have the structure point that we have from the daily chart. Let's make sure that we have the right one. 139.78. That is our structure point, and we closed above it on Friday, 139.88. So we closed 10 ticks above it now, and the high of Friday was 140.01. So this right there is a major buy signal for us, and so we'll take that as I have to leave it. So you make sure that you have this here at 78. Okay. So we'll buy this, we'll buy the Eurocad above 140, and we are going to sell it below the 139, and our structural short is the 137.62, and let me get the structure long. Well, the structure long is the 143.88. I'll wrap it up for you. It has been a little bit confusing, but I'll wrap it up for you. And if I okay, guys, here's what we're gonna do. The reason for the confusion is quite simple. This is the last of the day. This is the closing tick at 5 o'clock. Okay, and we did with that closing tick come and break above the structure point, which is our significant point. It's from the daily, and it also is the trend change on the intraday chart. So this area, the 139.78, is a very powerful area. That by itself is, again, as you well know, this happened towards the end of the day. So this is a late day reversal. It is a structure point on the daily chart. It is a structure point on the intraday chart. It is just a brilliant price point. And for us, we need to be looking at this, that since this is the last tick in the close, I mean, it's usually like a spike or something, and I want to make sure that you have the price action. So it might open lower around the 139.60, and I don't want you guys to miss the 139.78. So again, I want every one of you to put a horizontal line of 138.70, 139.78. Okay, you want to buy above it. So whatever the open is, I put the buy at 140 because that's based on what we see on the chart. But if it gaps down, again, it's a typical what happens in Sundays. And if it gaps down and then it turns back and gets above the 139.78, you don't need to wait until it gets up to the 140 level. Okay. Now, so just to wrap this up, we're going to go long above the 140. Take care in. Our structure long is the 143.88, and if I'm going to buy, and get this time. And my structure my short point is 139. My structure short is the 137.76, and my stop on the short side, I didn't do the stop sign. I'll place my stop on the long side below 139.78, and if I go short below the 139, I'll place my stop above 159.60, which is it is our market side which we have right there. Okay, that is the Eurocad.